So this is the Logitech K780, and I'm hoping that this will be the last keyboard review that I will ever need to do. I was previously using multiple keyboards for my work laptop, a 2020 MacBook Pro, my personal laptop, a 2013 MacBook Pro, and my 5th generation iPad. I had previously been using the Apple Magic keyboard, but this is not really mine. I borrowed it from the office, and also this can't pair with multiple devices. So in the interim, to use my personal laptop, I had been plugging in one of my old gaming keyboards, and I was just really annoyed by the amount of wires here. So enter the Logitech K780. No exaggeration, this is probably the best keyboard I've ever owned. Here are the 6 things that I really like about the Logitech K780. Number 1, the ease and speed of switching devices. Once you have this paired, it just takes seconds to switch devices on the fly. And while I haven't had to constantly switch back and forth like this in real-world settings, it's just good to have this as an option. Number 2 is its visual synergy with my existing mouse. So I have the Logitech M720, and I like how they both share this dark gray and white aesthetic. And while this wasn't a priority for me, it's definitely a nice to have. I like how my mouse also has multi-device capabilities, and since they're both numbered 1 to 3, I have the same numbering system for all of my devices. Just really easy that way. Third reason I like this keyboard is the dock. I was actually originally planning to buy those folio cases for my iPad so that it could stand on its own, but this works just as great. And also it keeps my phone in one spot, so when I'm working, I have all of my devices just neatly in front of me, rather than sort of scattered on the table. So definitely a bonus here. Reason number 4 is it's relatively cheap. So I got this for $50 Australian used on Facebook Marketplace, but this retails for just 80 Australian dollars in Amazon. Now I wouldn't call that ultra budget, but it's also a far cry from something like the Logitech MX keys, supposedly the gold standard of these multi-device Bluetooth keyboards. But you know what is free and great value? Subscribing to my channel. So if you like my content and want to see more, hit the subscribe button below. Reason number 5, and I get this is completely subjective, but I really like the typing experience. I honestly really enjoy typing on this. I would have thought that the round keys would have slowed me down, but after a few minutes of use, I've been able to achieve the same typing speeds as I've had with my previous keyboards. And of course, for the sound test, this is how it sounds. Finally, I really like the build quality. As I said in the intro, I think this will be the last keyboard review I'll ever do. And I'm really hoping this is the case, that I would never have to buy another keyboard again, or for a very long time at least. The keyboard feels solid, the keys aren't wobbly, and there's no bend to it if I try to bend it. This really should be all that I need, and I've never had a Logitech product just outright fail me before. So fingers crossed that I won't need to buy another keyboard for a really long time. Now, potential red flags. These weren't issues for me, but they might be for you, so I'm just gonna call it out. Number 1 is there is no backlighting here. And I haven't really minded because I always work in light and I also mostly touch type, so it hasn't been an issue for me so far. Also, there is no caps lock light here, and I personally haven't cared about it, but I have seen some people really want a caps lock light on there. So if that's a deal breaker for you, then this might not be for you. Lastly, this still needs physical batteries, and that might be a deal breaker for some. I personally don't mind it, and apparently these batteries will last me up to 2 years, so not a big deal for me at all. But for me, these downsides aren't really downsides, and I haven't had any issues at all with this keyboard so far. So that's my review of the Logitech K780. Again, hopefully the last keyboard review I will ever have to do. I've really enjoyed having this keyboard so far, and I personally just don't see any downsides based on my use cases. I hope this was helpful for you, especially if you have similar needs as I do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.